Why me? At some point in our lives, all of us have uttered those words when we've thought about what our abusers had done to us. And we always think that there is something about us that made our abusers target us in such a way that they would lash out violently. And it's so hard to believe that whatever was going on in our abusers' minds actually had nothing to do with us. Sometimes it's hard to imagine that even all of that stuff that happened, there had to have been something about us that made them react that way. And in reality, there wasn't anything about us specifically that made our abusers lash out at us. They took their anger out on us because they thought that we were weaker, that we were more vulnerable, that they were able to do these things to us because we wouldn't fight back. They target certain people. They're mentally ill. They don't look at things rationally. They don't look at people rationally. Nothing is logical to them. They can't. They're incapable of looking at things around their world and seeing them as anything other than obstacles. They're mentally ill. Our abusers, all of them, have something going on in their lives and in their minds that they are not able to control, that they're not even able to rationalize why they do it. Even in the throes of beating us or sexually abusing us, they may actually stop and wonder why they're doing it and why they can't stop. It's control and impulse issues. That is a major factor when it comes to deeming somebody mentally ill. But is that something that we should take on ourselves? Is that something that we should stop and look at and say, well, there had to have been something about me that made them act worse? Because maybe they didn't act that way until I was born. But the truth of the matter is, no, it wasn't you at all. You just happened to be the one that they saw and did it to. There wasn't anything particular about you. There wasn't anything bad about you. There wasn't anything tragic or horrible or anything bad. You were not bad. You were not a horrible person. It had nothing to do with you. That is probably the hardest thing to accept because people just don't behave that way out of the blue. People just don't do that. Sadly, they do. When you're mentally ill, there's a lot of things about you that you can control and that you can't control. And you really have to practice at controlling yourself. Well, mentally ill people that are abusers don't. They don't stop and think about that point of having to have any kind of control. They don't really understand what's going on. A lot of abusers are alcoholics. So when they're drunk or high or they're in a complete blackout of what they're doing, they will just react. They won't think about what they're doing. They won't sit and rationalize it. They will just do it. a lot of alcoholics are unable to control their anger. And they will fly off the handle in very violent ways. Same with drug addicts. My parents and my stepfather are alcoholics. My sisters and two of my sisters and one of my only living brother are all drug addicts. All three of them are drug addicts, and they have been for many, many years. And I've seen them fall into the same patterns as our mother and father, with the exception of the sexual abuse. My older sister, doesn't really have much control over her anger. She doesn't hit her kids, but she will scream and yell, and it's terrifying when you're small and that happens and you don't understand what's going on. And it's hard to explain to a child that whatever's happening isn't because of them. It has nothing to do with them. When you see somebody that you love or you are trying to love come at you with a horrible look on their face, and they're screaming and they're yelling and they're putting their finger that close to your face and threatening you, how can you not think that it was you? It takes a long time to finally accept the fact that they behave that way because of them, not you. Just keep telling yourself that you are a decent person, that you are a good person, that you do good things. Find small things in your life that you do that are good, and tell yourself, make a list. I did this was good. I did that, and this was good, and that was good. Don't let anybody, especially your abusers, tell you that you are anything other than wonderful. You are great. You are beautiful and wonderful. And because you are in the world is a much better place. Just because you're here. Whatever is going on with your abusers, they have to work that out for themselves. You have to be selfish when it comes to certain aspects of your life. And you have to take care of yourself first. Because if you're not good for you, you cannot be good for anybody else. So when you ask yourself, why me? Stop. Because you're taking your abuser's irrational self into you. And you don't deserve that.